Welcome to Better Cast Saul, the officially unofficial podcast for Better Call Saul on AMC. I'm Jim.
I'm Aaron.
And we just got done watching Season 4, Episode 5, titled Quite a Ride. That opening scene is quite a ride.
Quite a ride.
Yeah, I liked it. It was, as you said during the episode, a cameo of Saul in Better Call Saul.
Yeah, it's like we're talking about where's going to be the first Better Call Saul. Like, yeah, Saul Goodman cameo in his own television show. First appearance.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Super
right.
Lab cameo.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool. It's interesting because I don't know why. I don't know why I found tonight's episode more interesting. Maybe just because I didn't know where things were going. Like, obviously, I know the Super Lab, like where that's going,
right?
But
obviously.
like, it's kind of fascinating seeing the process.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't know what like necessarily Jimmy was going. Like seeing him, launder money on a small scale was kind of interesting, and then seeing him get his ass kicked by teenagers. And also Kim kind of like going about her business, but I got a bad feeling that she's not gonna be able to keep her promise.
No, I think it's a straight up lie.
Right.
I think she knows it is.
Right.
The look on her face says she has no intention of keeping that promise.
Yeah, I wonder why Kim doesn't try to shrink.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I also feel like, I don't want to keep harping on this, but I also feel like the Villigan and the Gould continue to have kind of a negative opinion about mental health, or they're, because Jimmy sees Hamlin being a basket case, and he's seeing a therapist twice a week, and I'm like, and Jimmy just like rips up the paper after he tells Kim he's going to call and flush down a toilet because like, oh my God, I don't want
Yeah.
It's like seeing a guy going through chemo for cancer and he's like lost his hair and throwing up and like, Jesus Christ, modern medicine. Ah, like what? I don't like it. I honestly.
But that's the character.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
That has nothing to do
Yeah,
with
I
Vince
get it.
Gilligan and Peter Gould
I get it.
or Jennifer Hutchinson or Michelle McLaren. Like, none of those people are saying, hey, therapy's bad. They're saying Jimmy is seeing things that are making him not want to go to therapy.
Yeah, no, I understand that. However, it's just, I guess I need to, I feel like I need to balance it out in my commentary because, it's like seeing a really cool guy smoking. There's reams of psychology that says regardless of, like people are susceptible to that. So if you see, Saul Goodman or Jimmy saying fuck therapy, then just don't fuck therapy, kids. If you fuck therapy will fuck you. Anyway, I've talked a bunch. What'd you think?
Yeah, I actually found myself enjoying it more. And mid-episode, I was like, why am I more engaged with this? Because I think similar things are happening, right? We get we get no more real insight into what Kim is thinking other than, hey, this is some more of it. And so we can start to say, all right, this is a pattern now. And she clearly is self-sabotaging here.
Yes.
For reasons that we had guessed at the second watch of last episode. And then, yeah, I think the stuff with Mike was interesting just to watch, even though we kind of know the outcome of it. I guess one of the questions I always had is how did that thing get built? You know? It's
because actually that was an ongoing kind of like nerd. Yeah, quite like when we were covering Breaking Bad, it's like how the Super Lab doesn't make sense. Like the fact that you would build something like that underground and it's just super secret. And I think maybe this is them like pushing back against that. Like, no. We've thought we've done the math. We've had the crazy Bavarian guy come over here and do the math.
the Bavarian boy.
Yeah,
Bavarian bunker boy.
His boy days are long past, I think.
They are. Yeah, I'm curious what you think as to why they ditched the first guy.
I don't know because he seemed professional. Like, can you not check his references? Did he or did he not dig a 3/4 mile tunnel under the city of El Paso without anybody knowing? If he did, he just because he whipped out a electronic measuring device rather than a fucking tape measure and was like, yeah, I can do it. It's going to take 7 months. It's going to be tough, but yeah, I can do it. Versus this guy's like, oh, it's going to be difficult and impossible and all. And I don't know why I went French.
Because the other guy I think is actually French.
Right.
This guy's like German.
Right. But I wasn't sure too. Cause like I was kind of skeptical. Like me, if I was evaluating this guy, I'd see the one guy and he's using like modern tools and he seems like, he's acknowledging it's tough. But it's like, look, I burrowed through solid bedrock 3/4 a mile under a town. Like either he did or he didn't, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not sure why the latter guy I guess you're supposed to understand that he's really sweating the details.
He is, yeah, and he's thinking through exactly how he's going to do it. He's taking, you know, not just laser measurements of the room, but he's looking at the gear underneath the
and seeing
laundry, and he's actually thinking about how he can get it done. Whereas the other guy's like, yeah, I'll get it done.
Right.
So, and that makes sense. I mean, Gus and Mike are both very meticulous guys.
I wonder if like they've secretly done, because it seems like the blasting thing was a deal. Like
yeah.
the other guy saying, "Oh, you don't need to do that because of blasting. You know, you got modern techniques and whatever." But I don't know. I'm not a fucking underground illegal excavator.
Right.
So like.
And it does seem like no blasting would be preferred.
Oh yeah,
I mean, that
sure.
shit, you'd pick that up.
Yeah, blasting inside New Mexico would be tough. Would be very tough.
Microblasts.
That's
what they need.
Yeah.
Microblasts.
Yeah. You just use whippersnappers. You know, you take like a 1/4-inch hole and you throw one down and then you throw a couple million more, just a little bit at a time.
And then you got a hole the size of a baseball.
And the whole time is just, you know, New Mexico. They're not gonna, you know, a million of those. Who cares?
Here's what you do: you build that under like an auditorium where people are gonna be clapping. You just drown out all the microblasts.
There you go.
Done.
I gotta say, there's one point when Jimmy is selling to the hardened criminals, the 1% biker gang. And he's talking about this new compact model that can be stored in. He like bulges. He does this like he bulges his eyes at the like anywhere that was a very subtle thing.
Yeah.
And so good.
Bob Odenkirk, great. With
Bob Odenkirk with the
subtle acting.
And the other thing is that frustrating me about Saul or Jimmy or whoever the hell he is, Gene, is that I feel like he would be a millionaire if he would just stop the scam. Like. Your problem wasn't the marketing. That's like right on. Your problem is that you're always trying to run a fucking scam. When I get it, that's again, you know, it's the character, right? But like it is frustrating to watch him like go back to the mobile store and scrape all that paint off, and I'm like, I mean that's a viable business plan. Even buying things and taking them to the street and saying, hey, here's the privacy and stuff. You could just like do that fucking legit and make a ton of money. Like he's single-handedly turning this branch around. So I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
He doesn't have to be, you know, out in parking lots at 1:30 either. He could say, look, here's my card with it. Come by the store and we'll hook you up next time. I
mean, I do think there's a certain element of, you know, hey, come to my beat up trunk and I'll it's cash and carry. I think I can see the attraction there, but I don't know. That's it's just so frustrating. There's a lot of, that's the thing. Like this episode, Better Call Saul is often an exercise for me in frustration with the characters, and it's not frustrating like in a bad way. It's just like, Jesus, Kim, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You just blew off your client to save a person who might well be, and I think that's going to be probably the reveal, like that kid that she saved from jail with the you know, she worked over the district attorney and got him 4 months probation. Like I feel like he's going to be in prison, and it's like all this stuff is just going to blow up in her face because like you know, Judge Neelix said last episode, like there's nothing here that's going to save a troubled lawyer's soul. It's just, you know, people in bad situations making bad decisions, and you can get them off the hook today, but it's up to them to short circuit that process to got them there in the first place. And a lot of these people just are not going to have the wherewithal, the resources, you know, like again, like, so she gets him out of a jam, says, hey, go work for your granddad and shovel shit or whatever. That's not a lot of post conviction relief, you know, kind of. It's not a jobs program. Go beg your granddad to let you shovel shit and clean bathrooms is not necessarily the resources this kid needs if she wants to keep him out. And
that's true. I feel like in that scene she's also saying the things that she wants to say to Jimmy. Like I think she knows that things are not all right with Jimmy, and I don't even mean emotionally. I mean like him with this cell phone job and like going out at 1:30 in the morning at the hot dog stand like that.
Yeah,
she's got to know something is going on there.
I wondered that because I was kind of on the fence about her, Because I think Kim, if she suspected that he was doing something to jeopardize his legal license, would fucking go Vesuvius on him, and rightly so. I don't know that she's got the gear to just be like, oh yeah, you're out at night banging somewhere, like, you know, at the Doghouse at 1:30, whatever, you know. I don't know. Doghouse.
I don't know. When she told this kid to keep his nose clean, I was like, that's kind of what she needs to say to Jimmy.
I do think maybe there is some of that she's trying to save future Jimmys. Right. Like this is the type of guy, like, you know, these young people, these young ne'er-do-wells that just need a leg up. I don't know. It's interesting, but also it just doesn't feel good when she met, I forget the in-house legal counsel for Mesa Verde, but when she that meeting at the end where she just dressed her down and said, look, you can't have this. You promised us this, and I get it, you're got an accident, whatever, but like, we got to be your first priority. I mean, that's pretty. I don't know how she's going to keep that if she keeps doing this legal adventuring that she's trying to do.
Yeah, no, she can't. Yeah, she can't. She won't. It's going to blow up in her face.
What do you think is so go back to the cold open. And it's interesting because, I
love it.
Man, they are using so many chroma filters or whatever to try to because I felt like that the Saul era was like saturated, like super saturated. Yeah. And then when they have the dude from France or whatever, it's like it's so blue. There's no red or greens left in the entire world. It's just been utterly
blue. Cars look white.
It's crazy. It's fucked up. But he mentioned something about like a November 2nd phone call at 3 p.m. What is that? That's the big new mystery, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it's pretty gutsy play for Villigan to play this card face up on the table in episode 5.
And also in that portion of the timeline, right? Like he's introducing like an entirely new show here.
Yeah,
like this could take a season just to resolve what happens with Saul between the disappearer and
you gone too deep, Villigan. Ken Watanabe is washing up on the beach. Like,
I mean, it's cool. I'm in for it, but
it's gutsy though. I think so. To put that up, because now people are going to be wondering what the hell's going on, and we know it can't, or think we can't. It can't involve the disappearer. Right, because that's already a done deal. He already set that up. He's got the rendezvous. Like, what could Francesca be doing for him besides taking out his garbage for probably what did you think those 2 wads are, like 10K?
Maybe each.
Yeah,
maybe each. Yeah.
Ooh, wow.
She's getting out of there with a cool 20.
Yeah, just for doing a load of crinkle cut.
Well, and putting up with his shit for years.
Yeah, well,
I mean, the look is all over her face. It's great.
I did like that. It's so funny to see like early Francesca to Saul Good, the wrap up of the Saul Goodman. We also had this,
especially when he says it's been quite a ride, and she just goes
quite a ride. Like that said it all.
So good.
Also, you can't. What does snapping a cell phone in half do? Like, I see in the movies they do that to like terminate it tracking or something, and maybe, but like in a forensic law enforcement thing, and I get this is set in 2002 or 2005 or whatever. Snapping a phone in half ain't going to do shit.
The only thing I think it could possibly do is like sever the antenna from the computing parts of it, right? So that like they can't trace it at all. Like, it's impossible to trace.
I mean, its
location.
Maybe that's what it is.
They just can't get a signal off of it.
They'd have the last triangulation, all the phone records just from the phone company, and then if they get the broken phone itself, it's SIM card city. Right. You know.
Yeah.
2000, not the shitty one that they released with like the really cool one where you could have Godzilla attack your phone.
No,
then what are the cops going to do?
It might just be movie magic. You know, where they say, well, this is the way we're just going to display, hey, this phone is done.
Right. I did also like him doing that to the kind of government conspiracy guy.
Right.
Like,
he really sold the shit out of that.
He did. Like, but that's the other thing is like, there again, you could selling 6 phones in one day is pretty good haul. Like, you could just keep doing that for 9 months, and then I don't know. And there's like at the end of the episode where he's like, you know, talking to his probation officer and saying like, oh yeah, as soon as I get my legal license in 9 months and 24 days, it's going to be me and my partner. Everything's going to be bigger and better. Like, that is kind of like I could have been a contender. I feel like it's a little delusional. Could have been a contender kind of talk. because I don't know. I mean, I guess Saul Goodman is bigger and better. The last thing I want to talk about, I don't know if you have anything else, but is this the first appearance of Saul Good? Like, he's so close to, because he said that to Kim when I don't know, he's trying to get out of the house for a couple hours to sell his boosted phones, but he didn't get the man, but he got the Saul Good. First appearance?
No, I mean,
of the phrase "Saul Good" in this show.
Back in season 1, wasn't he saying it during one of his scams?
Mm-hmm.
I think he was.
Maybe. I said, I would hate to. I mean, this is I haven't had any time to research.
Right.
And like, you know, I'm actually low key having the Bald Move family do my research for me because I'm sure someone's going to email it. But like,
yeah,
maybe it's the first appearance. It's definitely the first appearance of Saul Goodman. Maybe it's the first appearance of the phrase. Well, half of the phrase, 3/4 of the phrase. What else did you want to talk about?
There's one other thing along the lines of, you know, how you're sort of annoyed that Jimmy's just poo-pooing therapy here. The thing I think you can pin on the production staff here, the writers, is that apparently everybody who looks weird is a criminal. Because they go through like the laundry list of piercings and tattoos and like...
Yeah,
prosthetic limbs,
and
shit. And I'm like, these people aren't necessarily criminals just because they look a little different.
You see a guy wearing Doc Martens, maybe, but if he's got his hair dyed or an unconventional haircut, piercing in his face, and he's hanging out the dog. Like, I mean, the fact, I guess that plus they're hanging out the doghouse at 1:30, they're at least smoking marijuana.
Yeah, probably.
But like criminal,
burner phone.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't know.
But I bet I engage in some late night herbery in time, so I don't consider myself a criminal.
I
have a government job.
That scene was just a ton of fun to shoot, though.
Oh yeah.
They were like, "Bring me, everybody, find them, bring them.
Yeah.
This is gonna be awesome."
The casting call for that is like all weirdos come and And
I will say, weirdos can be some of the most fun people, even though they're not necessarily criminals.
I certainly am. Do you want to get the feed? Or are we ready to go instant talk mode? Are we done with the instant take? All right. Let's see. First up, of course, if you are hearing this for the first time and you're a club member, you can join. Like, this is the way this works: is we post this article at 10 o'clock. And then as soon as the show's done, there's a link that's exposed for club members. You can click through to the chat. Because I just want to explain this because I know a lot of people listen to the podcast and we never explain like how you can participate.
Gotcha, yeah.
So you go to baldmove.com. It's on the front page right after Better Call Saul airs. And there's a video where you can watch us and you can click on a link to chat. And you do that and it dumps you into YouTube chat and then you can chat. All right? All right. Jeff R., loving the new camera angle. We are officially going to Bald Move in Exile. We're in Jim's basement. Yeah. We're in the Bald Cave. And we're going to be here for a couple months until we get to our new office. But yeah, glad you guys are,
need some light behind you.
Digging it.
It's real dark.
We do need the back because
it's cavernous,
especially when it's not. This is the first time we've done a night thing, I think, and it's like without the sunlight coming in through the basement windows,
it's pretty dark.
It's pretty cavernous back there. Josh H. says, do you guys notice how the documents were shredded in the cold open? In season 1, Chuck says of Sandpiper shredded documents, at least they're not cross-cut. I think Jimmy remembered that lesson.
Yeah.
They're not just cross-cut, they were like diamond cut. That's like the real hotness, isn't it?
Right. Is there really a difference? Isn't a diamond just a tilted square?
I think it's just like it adds angles into like trying to match stuff up, you know?
Okay. Yeah, I like the shot. I really like the shot from like inside the shredder.
They did a lot of Tarantino stuff, like the hood cam, the shredder cam.
There's another shot over the top of the television when Jimmy's sitting on the couch, trying to watch that movie that I really loved. Yeah,
Dr. Zhivago, which is what I call a drink I invented. It's what's one part Dr. Pepper and one part vodka. Dr. Zhivago. Really, it gets you there, is all I'm saying. Jeff R., I have zero evidence to support this, but the cold open made me immediately think it's Kim related and he wants to protect it. Seems like he was kind of precious with it. I kind of actually agree, because I think I said that when we were watching it. When he whipped out that, like, he got the special phone and was making these arrangements, is this going to be something like message he's trying to get to Kim?
Maybe. He's not talking about the box, right? Because I have a theory on what the box is.
I mean, I don't know.
I think the box is the box. We see we see Gene in like one of the very early
yeah, the first one,
with
right?
the box
Where
with
he's
Better
got,
Call Saul
it's got
tape,
the VHS tapes and all that stuff.
yeah,
or the Betamax
and the
tapes,
money, and I think the ID stuff. Maybe I feel like that's all in there. But I don't know what the phone call is. Maybe Kim.
Jeff also says, I love the image of Saul digging into the Constitution to pull his possibly illegal package out of the wall.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah. The imagery. He's literally shredding the Constitution to get away with his illegal shit. Mike T, looks like Howard's going to become Wendy, not Kim. Whoa!
Twist.
Plot twist for sure. For sure. What's in the box that Jimmy digs out of the wall? What's in the box? What's in the box? Jim says it's the box.
Yeah.
It's the Saul Goodman box.
If you want to know, just go back to season 1. I think it's 1.
Yeah, we should do that.
Watch that cold open.
Also, that little bowling bag or whatever, we've seen that before, haven't we? I felt like we had. The one that's stuffed full of money.
Maybe.
Is it something that Walt used in breaking? Like it looks like, but also
did it go in the ceiling with Marco? Like did they put? Because didn't they put something in the ceiling of a building?
Yeah, you're right. That's kind of like a Saul thing, right?
Yeah,
they established that. So that's where he hides stuff.
But I can't remember if it was that bowling bag or not. That scene might actually say a lot more.
That's
than
to say, I got to do some because I feel like we've seen that before. That was like, and it looks very iconic. It caught my eye, but I also thought that there's because you know it must be a lot of fun to work on the show to do like all the fake signage and stuff like in the CC mobile thing. I thought I saw Jennifer Hutchinson's face on one of the like one of the posters, like she's just a person enjoying a cell phone. But I looked it up; it's not her. It's probably someone on the production staff though.
Yeah.
He continues. Mike T does. Why would Gus instantly trust Mike with a building the super lab? Is it a plot hole or indication of something? Do we know? Okay,
there's a plot hole.
There's a different saturation, so it's entirely possible that we're not in the current. Like this job that he's having Mike do is not the same job.
Yeah, I get the impression that we were jumping all over the timeline in this episode.
That's not a like surefire thing. I'm just saying that like they've trained me to, as they shift color palettes, to think of different, like you got black and white's the Gene future, the super saturated is the Breaking Bad era, blue saturation is
maybe like middle.
It's also they used it for like a Mike flashback when he was talking to the dirty cops. This is when he did
was
them
that
in,
blue?
wasn't that super
remember.
Blue saturated? But so I don't know. I will say that like, I mean, he already knows that Gus is planning on murdering like Mike's in pretty deep already. But you Super Labs,
yeah, he's not getting out.
Super Labs super deep.
It is, yeah. But here's the thing that I don't quite understand, I guess, with these operations is this contractor doesn't think that he's just going to immediately be killed after the job is done.
I know, yeah.
Like
that's the
secrecy.
Tom Clancy plot. Like every single time, the terrorist would have the German manufacturer build him an atomic bomb, and he's always at the end like congratulating himself, and then here comes the goons of the AK.
Right.
Yeah,
this is like, how these things go, right?
Right.
So
yeah,
does Gus have that feeling about Mike? Like, look, we'll either develop a relationship over the course of these 18 months, or however long it's going to take, or I'll kill him. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
And Mike kind of like, that's the thing. Like Mike knows it, and it's kind of like game on, you know. Like if you're smart, and I mean, honestly, that's one thing I've never been able to get into inside the criminal mind is like the whole reason that shit is bad for your health is because once you step outside the law, you just essentially tear up the social contract. Yeah. Like that, you know, and how do you ever stay on the sweet side of that? It seems like inevitable that it's going to not come up in your favor one of these days. And you know, if that's, I will say this though, Mike, if that's a plot hole, then Gus coming out and introduced this fucker that just got hooded up and brought over here and like all this secrecy, and
my name is Gustavo Fring.
What the yeah. So like I'm like more kind of put out about that. That seemed like you can just see in Mike in the background like, I don't agree with this. I just bagged this guy and drove him through the Sierra Mountains for 6 fucking hours, and now you're coming out and shaking his hand.
15 days by the look on Mike's face. He's the sleepiest fucker I've ever seen. Yeah. Christ, he looks sleepy.
Michael M. So what's the significance of that cold open? How many people thought we were getting a Skinny Peter Badger cameo? Dude, it was on my mind when we were at the doghouse. I'm thinking, this would be a great place to put one of those dudes. or even Combo.
I thought maybe the hydraulics car was Jesse's car, Captain Cook.
Yeah.
I don't think his is a convertible though.
Yeah,
So.
I don't. Yeah, it was a hard top.
Yeah,
I'm gonna check that out. Ben M. Never trust a Frenchman to dig you a hole.
I guess not. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's as soon as he saw he's a friend, can't do it. Is that a tunnel joke, or is that a surrender monkey joke? I'm not sure. There's so many ones you can make with the Frenchman.
I don't know.
Digging hole. They just that's a racial tribute of the Franks. They can't dig holes.
I've never heard this.
I need more explanation there,
perhaps.
Ben, before I can sign off on that statement. Mr. Nan Man, though I'm most interested in Nacho drug war storylines, it is awesome seeing Slip and Jimmy in his element. He got a bit of a negative side effect from selling on the streets, though. Yeah, I gotta say, I kind of wish that Jimmy had gotten like at least in take one that was like giving one of them punks what for in the face.
Yeah,
like knock a tooth out or something. Like, you know, Jimmy's, they were like, what, 14, 15 years old?
I suppose so, yeah.
I feel like if it's unarmed combat, I could kick almost an unlimited amount of 15-year-old ass. 3, for sure.
You said this about 8-year-olds, too, I think.
Well, 8-year-olds, literally, I could fight
I don't
infinity.
Know. You have a burly brawl on your hands, and we'll see.
I would wear myself out before they even laid a finger on me. Let's see. Johnny T. At the first cold open looked like a classic Breaking Bad flash forward opening, which I guess it technically is. Will we see his office this season? I mean, that's the question. So I've been thinking about this a lot. What are you thinking the odds are that we see a full on Constitution in the background, Lady Liberty up front in some sort of cheesy strip mall Saul Goodman outfit by the end of the season? Because I think we're about 50-50 and the odds are increasing. Because I don't think, well, let me, before I cut you off preemptively, I'll let you answer.
9 months and 24 days left, huh?
Yeah.
Because that's the limiting factor. In my mind, you either have to cut forward, like, quite a few months to get us there, or you just can't do it because he's got to have a law license.
We've already churned through two months, right?
No, 6 days.
What? Wait, I thought no, he had a year suspension.
Okay, 2 months from when
Chuck burning himself
back?
alive. So the very first opening of the season.
Oh wow.
So I feel like that we could absolutely
2 months,
get there.
You're right.
I mean, Kim should be getting her cast off pretty soon, it seems like. I thought that was interesting, though, because speaking of like some symbolism.
Blew my mind. Yeah, 2 months.
Is that like Kim is becoming season 1 Jimmy?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, in the public defender, like, you know, shit. And Jimmy is now becoming season 3 Kim because he's all banged up and stuff. I don't know. As she gets healed, it's like some kind of weird thing going on there. But I just don't think that Peter Gould and Villigan, I don't think that they can resist doing the premise of the show. Like, they got one more season left. It's time to flip the Saul and have a little fun with it. And still, like, they've got they'll deploy all their forces ready to do the rock and roll stuff with. But I mean, that's the thing. We know that the Mike and Gus stuff cannot intersect meaningfully with the Saul Goodman stuff. Because Saul is completely ignorant of Mike and this Gus. Oh, I mean, he's not completely ignorant of Gus, but he's like he thinks Mike got a friend of a friend of a friend remove. Mm-hmm. So there's no fucking way that they can have anything but a very minor interaction.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be fun to see Saul just doing Saul stuff for a season while the Mike and Gus stuff really heats up.
I mean, I could get behind just having a season of fun. Yeah. The show has been so dark for so long.
Johnny T says, continues to say, a little frustrating that they kicked Saul back down to Jimmy again, but the rest of the episode made up for it. Mike is a Luddite. Yeah, that is one conclusion you can draw from the vetting process here.
Yep.
Josh H, when describing Breaking Bad and often Better Call Saul by extension, I often add it's a man making really bad choices and having to deal with the consequences. So, could avoiding therapy just be one of those bad choices? Interesting. Possibly. That would be a cool... I mean, how would you make that point, though? like Vince and Peter come out at the end of the episode and be like, if only Jimmy had gone through the shrink, none of this would have ever happened. Like an old Woody Woodpecker, old Woody Woodpecker cartoon. Like, I don't see it. It would be a good theme if they could work it in, though. Maybe if the way they could do it is have Howard eventually get better and Jimmy just spiral down. So, Kidney 5, do you guys think this show would work now to watch it before Breaking Bad? Not knowing about the super lab and the mystery of what the vacuum phone call is would be really interesting in reverse watch.
Yeah, I was thinking that while I was watching it. I'm like, I wonder what this would be like to watch it without the knowledge of Breaking Bad. And I think it would hold up, you know? And that's that should be the goal of this show, right? To hang together even without Breaking Bad knowledge. And
we every time we ask this question, numerous people come forward and say, we're enjoying it, don't know anything about Breaking Bad. I mean, it's just one more mystery, right? Like, it's something that we're privy to, but like for a person watching the first time, like, what is this thing? What, like, I can see that being very interesting.
Yeah.
And it'd be working opposite, like seeing the super lab being built and then inhabited by, like, when you know, Gus gets together with Walt, it'll be like, oh, I know where this is leading to. It's just, I guess,
and people would be like, what the fuck is going on in this opening scene, right?
Yeah.
They wouldn't really know that he's getting disappeared.
Right.
Like, they'd be like, what? Okay, what was that phone call about?
I will say my opinion is anytime the topic of like in a book series or a movie series, like if someone's new to it, should I read it or consume it in the order that it was published or in the order that's chronological order? I always say published order first.
Yeah.
If you want to take a trip through and put it in chronological order, fine, but it was written or released in the way the creator wanted you to experience and in the order that he got the ideas. And like, I think sometimes watching in chronological order is more rewarding for like a long-term fan than it is like a person new to the universe. So
yeah,
I'd still say start with Breaking Bad before you go to Better Call Saul. Cynthia P, I thought Jimmy had stuff from his childhood that wait a second. Kidney 5 also says Jimmy says Saul Goodman in season 1 in a flashback, I believe, when he's scamming with Marco. All right, I'm going to confirm that, and then I'll retract my statement on the Instant Take podcast. Cynthia P, I thought Jimmy had stuff from his childhood that Chuck gave him in a box, or did I make that up in my mind? Possibly.
Maybe.
Again, I just saw this episode like 15-20 minutes ago, and I'm the same speculation point. Our dirty little secret is we don't have an encyclopedic memory of all things Breaking Bad and Saul.
Well, it's so weird because I feel like I have a damn near encyclopedic knowledge of Breaking Bad, but not Better Call Saul, and I haven't seen Breaking Bad as recently. So what the fuck?
I mean, it's like one of those things where I have approximate knowledge of most of that stuff, and then I firm it up by checking up on the Wikipedia, reading a Wikipedia article, or looking at the Breaking Bad Wikia, or like, you know, doing some internet searching. But yeah, I don't, like, just right off the top of my dome, I don't have that answer. But you could be. Jeff R., what if the 3 p.m. phone call is going to be Saul, maybe even Gene since it's the future, getting the secretary to get him and Kim back in contact with each other? Could be, but why would Jimmy be so adamant about someone will be like how can he guarantee that Kim would be available at 3 p.m.? That's what I don't, with the Kim theory.
Yeah.
Unless, like, if you want to go real crazy, and the person last week that wrote in feedback saying, well, what if Kim has been with him the whole Breaking Bad era and we just haven't seen her? Like, I guess that, you know, if Kim's like in it with him. So Kidney 5 says everybody knows you got to watch Phantom Menace before the rest of Star Wars, though. No, everybody knows you should pretend the prequels don't exist. Although I was just debating, we went camping as a family together, and we were around a campfire talking about how it's been a long time since we've seen Star Wars, and Jack, I don't think, even remembers some of the prequel stuff because he saw it so young, and we were thinking about, like, well, now that we've all seen it, and if we want to do like a marathon this winter, like, what's the right order? Do you go, like, it seems like you go Solo, Rogue One, Episode 1, Episode 2. No. Here's what I've heard suggested: Solo, Rogue One, Episode 4, Episode 5. Then at the reveal that Vader is Luke's father and he's Anakin Skywalker, you go back and do the prequels 1, 2, 3. Then do 6, 7, 8, 9. Fett, but wherever Fett and Obi-Wan slot in there too. But anyway,
I mean that I'm your father thing really just lands like a wet fart if you have seen the prequels.
Right.
It's like, oh Good one, Darth.
But I would like to try that like chronological. It is kind of chronological, but it's also like a digression into Anakin Skywalker. But yeah, you got a little bit of Star Wars talk in your Better Call Saul. Riveting podcasting on topic, to giving the people what they want, what they need. That's it. That's it. So it seems like that's it for the feedback. That's it for our coverage tonight, but it's not it for our coverage of the episode. We'll be back to talk about what a ride this all was. Wednesday afternoon, we'll be live recording for you club members, and we'll have the podcast out later that afternoon. Send your feedback into bettercastsaul@baldmove.com, and we will see you then. Have a good evening. Happy Labor Day.